Hello, welcome to Balance Your Books podcast. We're back, Kimberly.
We're back.
Yes, and before we get into a different topic for us, what do we always tell people?
We always tell the people in podcast land to remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, review, anything you could do to let us know that you're out there and that you're listening to us. And if you like really love us, make a comment. You can reach us on, oh my gosh, we have so many different ways to reach us.
We have a lot of communication channels now.
Yes, that Kina is going to give you. And particularly if there is something you want us to talk about in the future, if you have an issue with us, you can most definitely also email us as well. Our email address is, what's our email address, Kina?
info@yourbalancepartners.com.
Or you can email us at balanceyourbookspodcast@gmail.com. We got a Balance Your Books podcast email too now. So you can email us at balanceyourbookspodcast@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, share, tell everybody about us.
And for our websites, we have balanceyourbookspodcast.com. And as part of our special series called Cash Flow Confidence, so you can learn more about being confident in your cash, we have cashflowconfidence.net.
Yep.
And our firm website is yourbalancepartners.com. So something's wrong if you can't find us.
Yeah. So, and our podcast is on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We are out there, you guys. So come rock with us.
Yes. So today we're doing something a little different. Mm-hmm. So the last few podcasts that we've done, we've taken things that we've heard about out in the news, out in the world, and wanted to talk about it and give our perspective on it, and then link it to how a small business can learn something from it.
Right.
Because we're always learning. If you're growing, you're learning. If you're moving, you're learning, and we should always do that.
Right. And in our not our last podcast, but it was in Beyond the Barrel, our shooting the topic, we talked about the WNBA.
Good job, Kimberly.
Yeah. We talked about the WNBA, and we talked about the new collective bargaining agreement, how we're so excited that we have a season. As a matter of fact, preseason started yesterday. Yesterday, as of the date of this taping. So we talked about that, and we talked about that. So we have a little clip that we want to share and talk more about this new collective bargaining agreement and how it came to pass. So let's roll the tape.
Obviously, it's great for the league that the season will start on time. How does this new deal benefit the players financially?
Yeah, well, for the first time that the league has really existed, the players' salaries are going to grow as the business grows. So their salaries are tied to the growth of the business. We see that now if you look at these numbers. The salary cap last year was $1.5 million and is projected to be $7 million in 2026 in that year one of the agreement. But it's also about kind of how it's going to impact the average players. You see average player compensation is going to be greater than $500,000 in year one. And that was something
Let's stop right there. So first I want to recognize.
Let's look at these numbers.
Wait, I want to recognize Hannah Storm, because she's been in the game. She's been in the sports reporting game for a long time. So good to see Hannah Storm out there. But let's look at these numbers, because like the salary cap for
six times. Almost six times.
Yes, almost six times. Look, I pulled out my 10 key.
Yeah. Every good accountant keeps one.
Yes. So when you think about, what'd you say?
That's why I tell those young accountants, you need a 10 key.
Right. Yes. So if you think about the increases, like, wow, like the Supermax is greater than 5 times what it was before. Can you
And
imagine?
it is almost as much as the entire salary cap was before.
Right. Because can you imagine being the best in your league and the most you can make is $250,000, right? So it's gone up exponentially. And one of the things I want to highlight, last time we talked about how they got help. And so I think I said in the when we talked about it before, she was an investment banker, and I totally discounted this woman's credentials. So it was Harvard economist Claudia Golden, like the first woman to win a Nobel Prize in economics. Like she's a bad woman, and she became an advisor to them. And she looked at the numbers. Because numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Right? Mm-hmm. Looked at the numbers and came up and realized that the WNBA players were underpaid.
And, and just from the negotiation part, I want to now acknowledge something that I think women do an amazing job at is we don't tend to be intimidated by bringing experts into the room. Mm-hmm. Other women, where we say, and it's always good business. It's always good business to bring in someone who may have an expertise in something that can help you grow.
Right.
And that's what they did. It's like, we've been talking. Let's bring in someone that's mutually agreeable, that has a higher skill set, mm-hmm. that can give us a third party perspective.
Right.
And that is a key. I don't want anybody to lose that learning in this, how important it is to bring the right people to the table.
Right. And so we got another clip we want to play so that, another clip we want to look at just to show how we felt and how it felt to get there.
Into this agreement with our basketball analyst, Janae Ogumike. I know you've been following this closely. As we just pointed out, your sister Nneka, of course, the president of the WNBPA. So give us your reaction to this agreement.
My reaction is, whew, finally.
Really?
Not just Alexa, the media, the league, the executive committee on the Players Association, my older sister, the president of the Players Association, can finally get some sleep, because after 100 straight hours of negotiation, the last week or so, I've been texting her every night, 12 a.m. Pacific. She's still in the office at 3 a.m. Eastern. They're fighting for something that is bigger than themselves, as you mentioned earlier. And the word that comes up to my mind is transformational. It's also historic for the reasons that
yes, historic. Like,
yes,
in women's sports, it is where we've seen this before. I would say would be in women's tennis.
Mm-hmm.
When in women's tennis, Venus. First of all, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, go ahead. Venus and Billie Jean King, but go ahead.
Yes, they fought to get equity. Like it's not equality, but equity. And there's a difference between equality and equity. Equality is like, okay, like we're here, we're equal, but that's not always feasible, and it doesn't always make sense. But can our existence be equitable? Meaning, one, and I'll go back to the WNBA. People try to say they can't expect to be paid what the NBA gets paid. No, they were not expecting to get paid what the NBA gets paid, because the WNBA does not make the same amount of money as the NBA. So they weren't looking for equality. They didn't want to be equal to the NBA, but there wanted to be some equity, meaning that as one of the key tenets of this agreement, as the revenue grows, our salaries grow with it.
Right.
And we get to share in that growth.
Right. Which is insanity that they didn't have an agreement that was like that in the first place. Because one of the things that, and it's kind of interesting just to link it to, because WNBA is like a corporation. And, always the debate of how you incentivize your team. And, do you get better buy-in when people have some type of compensation that's tied to revenue versus them just getting a salary? I think you get a different kind of loyalty. Where I used to work, a certain place, it's a beautiful picture behind me. There, they they changed the compensation. There was a lot more, all different levels participating in profit sharing. So everybody got their own little piece. So the type of loyalty that you had to the brand, to the product, to pushing the brand and the product to customers is completely different than what it is now. I know people work there who can't even tell you all the products they sell anymore because nobody participates except for the highest levels in profit sharing. So their salary is the same regardless of what the company does, unless the company loses money and then they, lay off people. So it's an interesting thing as when people are growing their business and you start to get to the point that you want to increase staff and things like that. How do you compensate? How do you get people to buy into what you're trying to do?
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the players do, knowing that their compensation is now tied directly to the revenue of the league. What a change is that going to do?
I think one of the benefits, though, yes, the players, their compensation is going to be tied directly to the revenue of the league. But I thought the players were giving their all and their best prior to this.
Yes, but I think not so much. I think the court play.
Yes.
Once you get on the court, I think they have always given their best, which is part of why it's growing.
Right.
What's interesting to me is all the other elements that come to building an organization, building a brand, bringing customers. It's the marketing element. It's the in-persons. It's the building with younger people to want to become lifelong fans. That element of it and their participation in helping to build that. Because I don't know it'd be interesting to see what kind of requirements are in their contracts around in-persons or things like that would help tie directly to the league.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what we've got a glimpse of the numbers.
Yeah.
Again, Supermax 1.4 million. And that's expected to grow to over 2.4 million by 2032. So, there's the expectation that if what we expect to happen and what we're forecasting to happen happens, that Supermax can grow to 2.4 million. The minimum salary is now 270 to 300,000. That's the minimum. Now,
I thought it went to 600. It wasn't.
No,
600?
That's the average salary. The average salary.
Oh, the average.
Average salary is at 600,000. The minimum salary is 270 to 300,000.
Okay. So
if you recall in that graphic, before the Supermax was 249,000.
Yep.
It was less than 250, and now the minimum salary is over that, which means these players can live. They don't have to go overseas in the off season in order to live.
Right.
They can stay right here.
Yes.
Now,
meaning that from a league building perspective and a marketing perspective, that means you should be able to stay here to help get the word out, so to speak, and promote the league during the off season by having different marketing events and things like that, and being more of a presence in the communities that you are playing in.
Exactly. And then the other thing is the growth of the league now. So, we have 2 expansion teams this year. And then you have 3 that are joining in the next, from 2028, Cleveland, my hometown, is getting a team. Then Detroit in 2029 and Philadelphia in 2030. And there's one city that did not get a team.
Kansas City, my hometown. I can't believe, like, when we went to the WNBA All-Star Weekend, and they had this map up, and they had people come up and put pins in and kind of do a little interview thing of where do you think the next city should be. And I was making my case for Kansas City being a great place for women's sports, because we were the first city to have a soccer stadium that's only for the women's soccer team. And it sells out.
Yep.
So I was like that. And we have a basketball stadium that with no basketball team. So you wouldn't have had as much competition.
Right.
I mean, they use it for concerts, and they use it for like NCAA tournaments, volleyball tournaments, things like that, but not a professional league. So yeah, so it was like
Kansas City too. I was pushing. I even got recorded because they asked me what did I think the name should be, and I said Kansas City Queens. I remember saying that.
Yes,
I was pushing for Kansas City because low key I was like, Cleveland's gonna get a team, like But yes. So we've got the expansion of the league with more teams.
Right.
The season length is going to grow, is going to increase. So they're going from 44 games in 2026 to 50 games 2027 through 2028, then 52 games 2029 to 2032. So that's another stat. And then
so that increases revenue right there.
Right. That increases revenue, definitely. And then they're going to have a condensed expansion draft, free agency, and college draft timelines. So so those are some things that are going to happen. One of the things, let's tie this back into business, because one of the arguments prior to this, before they brought in the award-winning economist as an advisor to the Players Association, one of the arguments is people kept saying, but they're not making any money. How can they pay the players more? They're not making any money. They're losing money. And when we tie it back into business, I think it's important for business owners to really look at their numbers and how they're paying their people, because the people are the greatest asset, and how they're paying themselves. Now, the WNBA is a private organization. We don't have visibility into their financials. But when they say they're not making, the argument was they're not making any money, but they were able to get this done. I wonder how much of that money was going to the owners instead of the
but so who's the they?
Right. Well, that was the argument out there. Right.
No. I'm saying like they're not making money. Who's the they? Because you got league versus owner.
Right. I don't know who they were. I think it was the league.
Yes. So the league may not have been.
Right. But like, where was the money going?
Right.
Because it didn't miraculously appear.
Yes.
They just had to shift it.
Yes. And so the owner, right. So the owners, it'd be interesting to see what percent of revenue or profit per city, what percent goes to the league versus to support a league office, because the league office is probably not that big. I mean, I would think, because it's really, they're pushing the overall brand, but a lot of the things, the local, and I would think a lot of the merchandise, things like that, concessions, merchandise, tickets, all of that is the individual, the owner. Right. So and it's like the ownership group deciding what portion goes to the league. So the league may not have been making money, but that owner could be very profitable, because they're making decisions around how much are they going to spend. So they are going to, they are not going to have their expenses be where they're not profitable.
Right. Exactly. So I think it's key. There are two sides of this. When you own your own business, we've always talked about, you make sure you pay yourself, right? Make sure you pay yourself. But also, when you're looking at the revenue coming in and like who's really the cost of goods or services sold. When you're looking at that compared to how much you as an owner get, is it equitable?
Yes.
And that's what
Because are you starving your league? And I think the thing that made them look foolish, which was brilliant, was Unrivaled.
That was going to be my next yes. So those
because
of you,
Unrivaled made WNBA look foolish from the standpoint of how much they compensated the people to play, how much people got compensated, the amounts of the awards, and they put money front and center on Unrivaled. They're going for a $50,000 check. They're going for Chelsea Gray got $200,000 for winning the no. I think the winners of the overall thing got 200,000. I forgot what the numbers were.
Right.
But they put it out there, and it's like, so, and they were basically saying, yeah, they made more in Unrivaled than they made all last year playing WNBA.
So I want to give the people who may not know a little background on Unrivaled.
Yes.
So Unrivaled is a women's 3-on-3 basketball league, right? It was founded by Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart, 2 WNBA superstars, right?
Yep.
And what they founded it to keep WNBA players in the U.S., to bypass them having to go outside of the U.S.
End up in situations like poor Brittany.
Yes. So they could stay in the United States during the off season, and for them to make more money.
Right.
And it very popular. I found myself watching Unrivaled games over in the off season. Hated that they only played the games in Miami.
Yeah.
And then they played,
and then they had Philly.
Yeah, they went to Philly, and they went to
New York.
I think they played in Brooklyn also. But wish I could go to a game. And I digress. I wonder what this new collective bargaining agreement how it's going to affect Unrivaled, if at all.
Yep.
Because if you think about Unrivaled, 3-on-3 basketball league is kind of like the Big Three.
Yep.
When the men, Ice Cube's Big Three, but most of the men that play in the Big Three are retired.
They're retired.
They're old school.
I don't think there's any current players. They might be because they can't in the NBA.
They can't. There's probably something in their contract that they can't. So yeah, I wonder how that's going to affect Unrivaled.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you may not get the top tier players in Unrivaled anymore because they're maxing out at 1.4, 1.6. But so it may give more opportunity for that middle tier, that one that's making 300,000. This could get them to $500,000 or something like that.
Right.
In a year. And so I could see more of it being a place for that middle tier to get their name out there more, that then they can leverage into their WNBA contract or playing time and things like that.
Yeah, I agree.
That might be it. But it's gonna be interesting. I like that. One of the other things that in learning Unrivaled, that is also something tied to something for small businesses. If you're somewhere and you're not being compensated right, create your own.
Right.
And show them how to do it and use your talents to not only compensate yourself, but to say, hey, here's a product and here's an opportunity that we have in business. So that's that. What we talked about previously, where there is abundance at the table, there's a place where everybody can eat. And this is an example of that, exactly. Going out there and building it for yourself. Don't just be a consumer.
Yes, exactly. And one other thing I want to highlight with the WNBA collective bargaining agreement is they added benefits for retirement benefits. There are ways that retired players, the ones who built the league, can earn money now.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw during the WNBA draft where they had Cheryl Swoops walking around with 4 goats.
Yep.
like she was marketing the WNBA draft, and they were recognizing her as the GOAT, and she was walking around. So I'd be interested to see how much money she'll make, with that.
Right.
But for retired players, retirement benefits,
health
benefits, because there was the issue when players would get pregnant.
Yeah.
And what do we do with it? Which, for a women's league, you would think they would have.
You would have thought that would have been like, duh.
But it was not. So I think
you would think that'd be duh.
Right. I think I've highlighted all that I wanted to highlight with this, but just investing in player welfare and giving them a living wage.
Yeah.
And getting equity within the sport. And so I'm glad, again, we mentioned this before, that we support the league.
Yes.
We help with the revenue.
Yes.
That is going to get that these players that we love will get a part of.
Exactly. So kudos to, and really to me, to both sides, because you have to eat a little crow on the league side. And the players also staying united.
Right.
And so the things that to learn from this is the power of the collective, and what you're able to accomplish when you don't let other outside noises and voices get in there, and you all stay united, and what the strength that can do, and what that can do for your profession. And also for an owner to recognize that how do you compensate your people, and how do you let them participate in your growth? Greed can only take you so far, and we have to talk. We have to talk about that, because we've had some interesting. We'll talk about that, because we've had some interesting conversations with people around the rich, and the rich's responsibility in terms of the rest of the world and their employees and the companies and
all of that. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we have we just came up with a future.
I know. That'll be a good one, because we had some very interesting conversations with people lately.
But yeah, so good stuff. So I'm excited about this season. It was a shooting topic in the past, and we got to dig a little deeper. And I don't know if you saw for a second, because I flipped.
Did she come out?
She poked out for a second when I started talking. I was like, get back.
We started talking money. Did she?
Right. For those who don't know, I have a gray hair, and I just put my earring out. A gray hair that I named Alicia Gray, and
in honor of our WNBA Atlanta Dream.
Yes, my favorite player on the Dream. And I actually flipped my part so that she would be hidden. And she started peeking out. And I was like, get back in there. So
let me tell you, Leisha's gonna be seen.
Yes,
she's gonna be seen.
She is an all-star. All right. Well, guess what?
Oh, right before, let's do this.
What?
What's your pick for the finals for WNBA?
For the NBA?
WNBA.
Oh, it's too early for that.
No, that's the whole point of doing it right now. Because we'll then have
to. Oh my! Give me yours, because I hadn't thought about it. I'm gonna pick the Dream. I think the Atlanta Dream will be in the finals.
Okay,
definitely.
All right.
I think the Atlanta Dream. And I'm gonna go with.
What do you think?
The Atlanta Dream. And I don't know who else.
I think the Sparks are going to come back.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Sparks Dream.
I watched a little bit.
That's my pick.
Okay. Sparks Dream. Okay, that's your pick. I got Dream. And we'll see. I would have liked to watch a few more preseason games.
Well, yeah, but that's why this is one of those too early prediction. Okay. If that loud talking man can do it, we can.
Okay, well, if I'm gonna give I'm gonna say
we can talk like him. We can do it like he does.
Don't interrupt me, Keena. I'm gonna say the Atlanta Dream and Seattle Storm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they're an interesting team. A lot of
Yeah.
changes there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Boom.
So now it's time for shooting the So my topic today, Keena, as we've been talking about women's sports and things like that, and we're women.
Last I heard.
Yep, we're women of a certain age, and as we've gotten older, things have had to change. So what I want to talk about just for a bit, but we're women of a certain age, we've had to make changes in our lives, but we're still living.
Yes.
So just tell me a little bit about what you've done that's changed, but you're still living your best life.
Well, I guess the funniest thing is, boy, do we talk about doctor's appointments and medicine and creams and herbal supplements.
Just like the other night when y'all exchanged reading glasses. That was hilarious.
Like that is probably never talked about that stuff. Someone had to have something broken to talk about that in our 20s, 30s. Like never talked about that kind of stuff. I mean, never.
But the good thing is to have.
But it's talking about it from a positive place,
right? And then to have a community that you can share it with.
Yes.
Right? To talk about it with. I think
so. Now we talk creams and patches and herbal supplements and gut health and stretching's important,
and red light therapy
and red light therapy.
But these are
cold plunges and
needed to sustain and survive and to be able to move. You know, you said earlier, if you're still moving, you're learning, you're moving, you're growing. If you're moving, you're living. And the age doesn't stop the living. It just changes a little bit. One of the things I want to say is, working out, if I could give any advice to the younger generations, is start working out regularly. I didn't start working out like obsessively until I was 50, I want to say. Maybe a little earlier.
Yeah, a little earlier than that.
Yeah, a little early. I'd go through spurts. And now I'm at the age where I'm still going to do my 5Ks, but I'm not running anymore.
Oh, yeah, I gave up running. That was a horrible idea.
I'm not running anymore, but I'm going to walk. Lifting weights, things like that. When my body started,
I always liked lifting. I
love lifting. When my body started to break down, just I hate to say break down, but when the hormonal changes started to affect my body, I had just started like lifting heavy. Had a personal trainer, and I loved it. And then my body was like, "Nope, you should have started that earlier, girl." But I'm still gonna lift. What is your new thing that you do regularly, Keena?
Pilates.
Yes.
I like Pilates. Because I do not like to run at all unless someone's chasing me. I never got that runner's high. I kept looking for it. And then finally, I was like Forrest Gump. When he just stopped and he was running, he stopped. He said, "I'm going home now." That was me. I was in that 5K, that last one.
That was my chapter.
Yeah, it was your. And I stopped. I was like, I hate this. I wanted to walk across the parking lot and just be like, forget it. But I went ahead and finished. But I was like, I ain't doing this anymore.
But now your passion is Pilates, and I
like Pilates.
I love to see it. When you're like, I'm at Pilates, I'll call you. I was at Pilates. I love to see it.
So I do like Pilates.
And
I do need to do more strength training and walking, but it's like definitely moving and then doing things that challenge your brain. That's the other piece of it, is really not being afraid to learn new things, pushing ourselves just in doing this. All the technical stuff we've been trying to learn to figure out how to build this is totally new. And the more you push yourself mentally and physically, the more you'll thrive in this next chapter.
Right. And I will say that we're making these changes physically, whether it be through, stretching, working out, mentally, so that we can still party. Because we like to
Right.
party.
Right. And
Hey.
so my goddaughter was here and we were having this conversation. She is 21. She'll be 22 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she was saying, she said, Aunt Kina, my generation, they don't really know how to party. Like they don't. And she was like, we don't have really clubs that you can go and dance. And I was clutching my pearls. Like I was like, what? I used to be in the middle of a dance floor for hours.
I was going to say used to, but then when you said hours, Kina will
Yeah,
still be in the
hours.
middle of dance floor, but it might be 15 minutes.
I'm gonna yeah. Well, depending on the music,
Right.
But so it's but I was just like, man, that's where you met people or hung out with people, and I was like, what? So it was interesting that I was like, well, when you come back to Atlanta, you got to go to a club. We do have clubs here,
Right.
but where she is in Ohio. There she was saying that she's like, no, there's not. She's like, there's bars, but there, I guess people always smoke a hookah in front of a green background.
Don't even. Yes. Okay. So I think we can end it right there. I think we can cut it right there.
Get out there and dance, people.
Get out there and dance and have fun.
Yes.
You may have to.
That's exercise.
You may have to shift from a night party to a day party, or if you're gonna be out at night, make sure you get a nap in. But don't stop living, because
don't stop.
Life is meant to be lived.
Amen.
Well, thank you. This was a good one. A little longer than usual, but I think we had a good time. And until next time, Podcast Land, remember, like, subscribe, share, give us a rating, review, comment, get in touch with us, because we are everywhere.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.